next practical is about regression analysis. Fine. Regression analysis. So when we talk of regression analysis in R, we generally talk about linear regression analysis. Now let us first understand why we are talking about linear regression analysis. What do you mean? What do we mean by linear regression? So suppose I have written an equation y equal to ax plus b. This is simply a mathematical notation. Fine. When we consider this equation in mathematics, from mathematics point of view, we say this is a linear equation. Fine. So this is a linear equation in mathematics. And if we are writing equation like x square plus bx plus c, then this comes under the category of your quadratic equations and so on. Fine. But here we are talking about this thing, that is the linear equation. So when we work with linear regression in R, we basically take this equation as our base. So let's understand what does it mean. So here let's firstly understand what do you mean by regression analysis. When we were discussing about the unit 2, before the second MST, we discussed about various types of learning in machine learning. Fine, we discussed about the types of machine learning. Like there was supervised learning, unsupervised learning, fine, and so on. So what was happening in these cases? Here we discussed that we can use the techniques like classification, we use clustering methodologies, we use neural networking. Fine. And here we also discussed about that one of the technique that can be implemented for these type of learnings is regression also. So this practical is about that regression analysis. So when we talk about regression analysis, here we say it is widely used. First of all, we call it a statistical tool. It is a widely used statistical tool that is used to establish relationship. It is used to establish relationship between two variables. Fine. Now let us understand what these two variables are. Here suppose we are considering two variables as x and y, because we were talking about this equation that was a linear equation in which a and b are the constant terms, and we are having two relations y and x. So these are basically two variables, and regression analysis is basically to deal with these two variables to define a relationship, to establish a relationship between these two variables, like how these two variables are related. In this, one variable is known as the predictor variable, and the other variable that is used in this case is known as the response variable. Now let us consider one example for this. What is a predictor variable and what is a response variable? In this case, suppose I am saying if a person's age is between 30 to 40, fine, his person's age is between 30 to 40, then there are 85% chances of getting COVID positive. Fine. So this is actually the world data that has said something. Now again, let us consider this is my one of the test data, in which I am saying the age of the person. So my one variable will be age of the person. I will call this variable as the predictor variable because this is predicting a value. Now suppose I want to know there is some XYZ person, or you can say person P1 is there. Person P1 is age is 38. Now I know the age of this person, that the age of this person is 38. I want to check what are the chances of for that person to get that he is COVID positive, that he can get affected from positive. So you will answer there are 85% chances of getting infected with COVID. Fine. So in this case, we have used age as the predictor variable, age as a predictor variable, and this is the answer. You can say answer, solution, and we call it as the response variable, because this is the response that has came from certain machine. Now how we are implementing this in machine learning here, but we are talking about, when we talk about machine learning, here we say, when we talk about these terminologies, this predictor variable, this will become as an input, and this will be my knowledge base. This will be my knowledge base with which I will train a machine, and the machine, that is artificial intelligence or the machine learning machine. Let us, in simple terms, let us call that as a model. So what I am doing, I am training my model with certain knowledge base, and this will be my knowledge, that is my predictive variable. And based on this, this machine is providing me certain output, that is the resultant of prediction. Fine. So in this case, we say we have input the age, and this age will be compared from in the existing database, and it will return the response, that is chances of getting positive. Fine. So this is how it is working. So basically here we are talking about, this is my model. So what type of model it will be? It will be a model that says some machine learning model. Fine. So this machine learning model will act as this. Let me provide some input to this model, and from this input some output will be provided. Let me check, there is some issue, issue in the chat box. Let me have a look at that. There are some students, please check, they are trying to join, starting another session. Please inform that particular guy, I am getting notification that he has started some other meeting. So please tell him to join the current, correct session. Please do this on my behalf. Please convey your friend, because we have to join with this link Thursday to practical. He has started some other session. Please inform your friend for that. So here we were saying we are having a model. Let us call this model. And to this model, what we are providing, we are feeding the model with the training set. So this model is trained. When this model is trained, we call it machine learning. Because what is a machine? That is having certain training. And how this training comes? This has been trained with the knowledge base. And once this model is trained with the training set, when we want to query, now let us make some query to this. And when we do some query, we enter the predictor variable to this. And basically here we are entering what? We are entering the test set, because this training set has been stored in the machine learning database, in the database of the machine, or in the database of the model as a knowledge base, this training set. And when we want to query something and we want the machine to do something, then we enter the test data set. And based on that test data set, machine will use this knowledge base, and it will give the results, or you can say it will act according to that. So this was about the basics of machine learning. Now let's understand about why this is known as your linear regression. So this was the equation for linear regression. Let's understand about this. So in this case, we are having two A and B are constants. These are simply the constant values. Let's understand what Y and X are. So Y is basically here the response variable. Y is the response variable, and your this X in this case is the predictor variable. This is my predictor variable. So in this way, we are performing the certain estimations. Now let's move to the practical part. Let's start with our R model, with our R Studio. Fine. So here, first of all, how to perform regression analysis? We need to some dummy values for that. So for doing that, for the practical purpose, let us create two vectors. I'm creating two vectors. What I will be doing in this case, let me firstly tell you. Here in this case, I will use values like based on the height of someone, height of some persons, we will calculate the weight of that person. So for that, I will be using the variables. Let me write them as a comment. I will use x variable. That x variable will represent the height of persons. Fine. And I will also use y variable. This y will represent the weight of the person. It will represent the weight of person. So these are the variables that I am using in this case. And in this case, we also need to know that x over here will act as the predictor variable. X will be my predictor variable, and this y will be the response variable. Fine. So let's implement this. How we can implement it in R? So in this case, we will create two vectors, one as x, and we will enter some values. Let's save time by copying the values directly rather than typing all the values. Let me copy these values from here. I'm just copying the values, not doing anything else for x variable. Fine. So let's create this x vector. It means all these values are the height of persons. Fine. Now let's create y variable, y vector. This y vector will consist of height, weight of the person. Let me copy the weight values also. So done. So we have copied the weight values also. So we have created two vectors, x and y vector, where x consists of height of the persons and y consists of weight of the person. Once this is done, the next thing is that we have to do is use the model. Now let me tell you about the model also. What does it mean by a model? So here, when we talk about the model, we are talking about linear model, and we have inbuilt function lm. Lm is inbuilt function in R. So this my lm is inbuilt function in R, which is used to define a linear model. And the structure of this, syntax of this function is, we define the name of the model, you write the name of the function, that is lm function. After this, we will write the formula over here. Fine. So let us understand what does this formula means. Now in this case, this formula is nothing. This is simply to define relation of two variables. Fine. If we are using two variables, let us say I want to define the relationship between weight and height. So we are calculating weight. So it will be like this. The formula will be weight, then this symbol, then you will write height. So this is how we write a function, and how we write lm function, and this is the formula for that. So in this case, but in our example, we are using y for weight because we have to use this. So firstly, we will write the response variable. After writing the response variable, we will write the predictor variable. So this is a thing that we are going to do. Once this is done, the next thing that we are supposed to do is using prediction, making the prediction. So to make the prediction, we have a variable for inbuilt function that is known as predict function. So how we use that predict function? Firstly, we write the predict function. After writing the predict function, here we will write the model. that we have created, firstly we will create the model. So this will be the first step to create the model. Once the model has been created and some training has been given to that model with the data set, we can predict the new values for the test set. So we will write predict, then we will write the model. After writing this model, what we do right next, we write the object. Basically this will be the new object. You can also define it like this. We write the predict function, and here we will write model, and this model is basically known as object in our terminology. And then we will write comma. After this we will write the new object, or you can call it as the test set on which you have to make predictions. So this is how we will write the prediction variable. Now let's do it practically. So we have, till now we have created the two vectors. Now next thing that we are going to do is we will create a model. So let me call the model as M1. And next thing was what we have to use. We have to use the LM function, linear model function. And what were the variables? That was Y. Then it is related with which variable? X variable. So let's create the model M1. Let's run it. Done. So we have created the model. So this is how we can create a model. I have already explained about the syntax of this creating this model. Now once this is model is created, next thing that you can do is you can plot the chart for this. That is, plot the chart for model. This is very simple. We have inbuilt function, that function is known as plot function. You will simply write plot, you will write M1. But that is name of the model for which you want to do plotting. Fine. So here you can see the model for this has been created, which is taking the values from this, and this formula linear model has been applied on this. Let me show you what is there in linear model function. So I will use the function help to describe this. So here you can see. So here you can see over here. Fine. So it is giving you about, it will give you the help on the linear model. You can see from here it is showing that LM is used to fit linear models. It can be used to carry out regression, single stratum analysis of variance and analysis of covariance, may provide a more convenient interface to this. Fine. So this is how we can use the help function to look at the help of to take the help on a particular function. In build function we can do this thing. So this is how you can plot the function. Once this is done, the model is created, we can print the summary for that model. This is very simple how we can do. We will use print summary, then we will write the name of the model, that is this one. So here the summary is coming. It will give you the complete detail that we have used this function. Then there are certain residuals. In residuals it is specifying the minimum value, first quadrant value, median value of this third quadrant, and the maximum value from that model values for about all the residuals. So then we talk about coefficients. It will return all the intercepts and the values. It will also show you the total standardized error. In this case will be 3.25 degree with 8 degree of freedom. So this will give you a complete description of the linear regression function that we have implemented or we have used the model. Now let me tell you about what do we mean by residuals over here. So residual is a measure of how far away a point is vertically from a regression line. As we can see in this model, there are some lines are coming, and residual will tell us how far some value is from the vertical line that is been drawn. So simply it is the error between the predicted value and the actual value. So you can remember, let me repeat about this. Residual will define the error between a predicted value and the observed actual value. What was the actual value, and based on that actual value we have predicted some value. So if there is a gap, that will be represented in the residuals. So from here it can, you can see, when we are talking about minimum value, that is the minimum value is over here. Let just a minute. Fine. So this is the minimum value. In this case it is saying that when the minimum value is taken, there is a very less fluctuation from the this horizontal line, that is -6%. Then in the first quadrant, like in this quadrant, residual is -1. Fine. And when we are at median over here, you can see this will be the nearest median point. Here the residual error is only 0%. Fine. So when we are moving towards third quadrant and the maximum value, you can see from here, it is showing that the maximum error from the actual value, the fluctuation is up to this point, and in the third quadrant it is over here. So these are about the residuals in regression. Fine. So next thing that is coming in this case is about the coefficients. Fine. So coefficients in variation, or coefficient in, you can say, the changes in the values, or we can say coefficient in regression analysis. So basically these regression coefficients are basically the estimates of the unknown population parameter, of the unknown values, and they will describe the relationship between a predictor variable and the response. So in linear regression, coefficients are basically the values that multiply the predictor values. It will multiply the predictor values and it will give some other values. And which equation will be used? That is y equal to ax plus b in this case. So that will be the coefficients. That is estimate. Estimate is their standard error, t value, and all these values are calculated. So in this case, a lot of other theory points are also there that you can study in the meantime, but I have almost covered all the points that are very much necessary to understand the regression analysis properly. So let's move towards the implementation part of this. So this was about how to print the summary. Next thing is, we were talking about, we have to use the predict function. So when we are talking about the predict function, so how we are doing, we are already having this thing, this x value, x is there, this y factor is there. Fine. So we have already defined the model over here. We have created the model over here. Next thing is that we have to do the prediction. So when we talk about making a prediction, obviously we need a new value. Let me tell you by showing this in PPT. So here you can say, we know that if someone's height is 170, then weight of that person is approximately 81. If any person's height is, let us say, 185, then the weight is approximately 86. Then we say if the height of a person is 160, then the weight is approximately 70. Now suppose we are having this data, and we want to check if someone's height is, if there is a person P3 whose height is 175, then what will be the weight of that person? We want to calculate the weight. So what we are having? We have designed a model. Here we are having a model. How we have created the model? With the LM function, which has defined the relationship between the weight and height. So we will use this model, and this model has been using this knowledge base that is present in the training set of this model, that was used while training this model. Now based on this we will make the predictions. So we will use the predictor variable. This will be my predictor variable. I will my predictor variable, my, or you can call it new variable, new value, new predictor variable. I want to calculate where the weight height is 175. So based on this value it will make an estimate. This model, which was defined with this function, that was the function was y and x. Fine. So based on this function it will make the estimates, and the estimate value for this will be calculated somewhere around 82. Fine. So this is how the estimation will come and the new value will be coming out. So if there is the gap, the variance between the actual value and the calculated predicted value is known as residuals in this case. Means how much our value has varied from the actual value, and what is the difference, what is the percentage of difference between the predicted value and the actual value. So now let us implement this on the data value. So now what we will do, we are having 151, 174 and all the height values. Now what we need to do, we have to predict value. That is for you can call it like let me call it find the weight of a person with height equal to 170. Fine, I want to do this. So what will I do in this case? In this case, let me use one new value. Let me call the new value as a new vector. Inside this, I will enter the value with the data frame. I will insert x equal to 170, because when I will put x 70, it will relate with this function over here. Fine, so I will create it first. A vector is created. Fine. So next thing that we have to do is we will use some temporary result variable, which will show the functionality of this predict. So I will use predict in build function. Here I will specify the model name. My model name was M1. And my new value on which I want to calculate is a. We have already discussed the syntax of the predict function. So now I'm just giving the demo. Now what I need to do, I will simply print the result. So here it has calculated around 76. Now if I have a look at this actual values, there was a value for 174. It was approximately 81. And any other nearest value to 174, let us find from here. I think it should be 163. That is, we will take one lesser value and one greater value. So we are calculating for 170. So the value that is greater than 170 but nearest is 174, and weight in that case is 81, and next value is 163, and the nearest value to 163 is 72 in this case. So my value that should come as a weight should be greater than this value, that it should be greater than 72, but it should be less than 81, because 170 lies between 163 and 174. So it should lie between 72 and 81. So this is calculated. This has calculated it as 76. So from the existing data set, I have made a prediction for a new value, that is 176. Now let us change this value. Let us calculate for 200. If height of some person is 200, so I have changed the value over here only. For 200 we want to calculate, so we will run this model. Now we will print the results. So here you can see it is giving 96. Now the highest value in this case is, I think it's 186. So 186, the largest height that we have in our knowledge base, that is present in our models database. So 186, greater than 186, we are entering the value 200. So 186, it was 91. It means the person whose height is 200 should have more weight as compared to this 91. So this is coming, that is 96.4767. So in this case, what we have done, we have trained the model, and we have created the model M1 with the LM function, and we have trained the model with the formula this, that is specifying that there is a correlation between this, and then it has shown that this particular value can be given. So this is how we can predict the value based on the existing database. So you can do this type of predictions, like you want to check if in particular year, in like the rainfall in last year was 97%, and rainfall in month of November in 2020 was 97%. Then in 2019 the rain was in month of November was 87%. In month of you can say in year of 2018 it was 76%. So in this case, what you can analyze in when we are talking about the year 17, it was less. In 18 more rain was there. In 19 further more rain was there. In 2020 the percentage increases. So from that based on that data values, a linear model will guess, it can tell how much is the what is the probability of rain, and what is the percentage of rain that is going to happen in November 2021. So you can make the prediction based on the previous data. Fine. So this is how we are working with our machine learning. We train a machine with the existing data set, with the existing knowledge base, and based on that knowledge base, our model is trained. We need to simply, if we are creating a linear regression model, then there is the inbuilt function that can be used, and that inbuilt function is LM. Fine, and we will train this linear model by defining the relationship between the predictor variable and the response variable. And after this we will make the predictions by specifying the test data set, and for that we will use the predict function. This is how we can perform regression analysis in R. Now let us understand one more thing for this. Checking for the correlationship, let me tell you about that, because that is again very much important term, that is correlation. Now correlation specifies degree of relationship. It simply specifies the degree of relationship. Degree of relationship means if we are saying x variable and y variable, these two variables are related to each other, then it will tell us how much they are related. What is the degree of their relationship, or you can say strength of the relationship. Strength of the relationship between variables. So this is known as correlation between two variables. Now suppose if I am saying the correlationship is like this: based on the height we are calculating the weight. Fine. So here we can say how much they are related to each other. What is the degree of the relationship between height and weight? Weight can also happen if height increases, weight also increases. If height is increasing, weight is increasing, then this is known as strong positive correlation. This is known as strong positive correlation. Now let us consider one more thing. Here we say height increasing, weight decreasing. So in this case, one parameter is increasing, another one is decreasing. This is known as strong negative correlation. Fine, this is known as strong negative correlation. There can be other terms. There is no good relationship. Like in this case, we are saying one parameter is doing another way, it is going some other way. So like say the one is decreasing, another one is increasing, then there is no relationship. Then here we have to define if the degree of relationship is strong. If the degree of relationship is strong, then those variables will predict more accurate result. They will predict more accurate result. Remember, it may be a positive correlation, it may be a negative correlation, but the correlation should be strong. If the correlation between the two variables is very much strong, then we consider we will get more accurate result. More accurate results mean we can ensure more accurate predictions in this case. More accurate predictions. So the accuracy of the predictions or accuracy of the results depend upon the correlationship. Now before defining any relationship or designing any model, and for that model when you have to decide about the which parameters or arguments you want to use, firstly you need to check the correlationship between these two. So how can I check the correlationship? For that we have built-in function available with R, that is COR, correlationship. Now let's check the correlationship between Y and X. Let's print it. So here you can see what is the relationship. It is saying 0.97% degree. What is the degree of relationship in this case between Y and X is 0.97. Let's try to do reverse of this. Let's write X comma Y also. Sorry, we have to write over here X comma Y. Let's print for this. So here you can see, you can write either correlation Y comma X, or you can write correlation X comma Y, but the degree of relationship is coming as 97%. So it means if two variables X and Y are having very good correlationship, so they will give the best results. The accuracy will be very good, and we can rely on these variables to create a model. So this is the thing, that whenever you have to design a model, you have to create a model, you must check what is the degree of the relationship between the two variables, that is the predictor variable and the response variable, because you have to decide which variable you want to use as predictor variable and which variable you want to use as response variable. Fine. So in that case, firstly you have to decide that which variables you want to use, but for deciding, the best thing is use the built-in function COR, that is correlation function, that will support you to decide whether the degree, if the degree is strong, then you can go with that. So never forget to do this type of testing before going with that. So I must say, but you need to check degree of correlationship. Degree of correlationship for which you want to check for predictor variable and the response variable, and the degree should be it should be strong. It should be strong relationship. It may be strong positive or it may be strong negative. So it may lie between -1 and +1. It should lie between these values. Fine. And when we are talking about these values, we can, it may also happen, suppose there is person 1, person 2, person 3, person 4. Let us consider this thing. In this case, let us consider height and weight. Suppose in this case height is 70 in 170 and weight in this case is 86. Here the height is 172 and the height is 88. Now here comes if the height is 185 and in this case weight is 76. Here the height is 189, weight is 73. Now what is happening in this case? Here we can say for first two persons, first two data values, when the height is increasing, weight is increasing, but for the next two persons, when the weight is height is increasing, weight is decreasing. So in this case you are not able to define whether this relationship is strong positive or strong negative, because for first two cases it is strong positive and in the next two cases it is strong negative. So this is the case that will give least accurate result. If so, this type of thing is going to happen, it will give you the least accurate results, and in such cases these two parameters are not a good choice, because it will throw you the relationship degree around 0.5%. Fine, because some cases 50-50 chances are there. Fine. So in such cases this will not be a good thing, and you can't use linear regression in such cases because you are unable to decide, and linear regression says linear model in which slope is something like this. a steady graph is going on. So please be careful while deciding such type of scenarios. So till now we have done the practice on the dummy vectors. After this we will do in the next session we will take a inbuilt database, cars database, and we will do the same thing for prediction while using inbuilt database, and that will be the real life example that can be considered to understand the better things. Fine. So if you are having any doubt, then you can ask